Hey, gang, how are we doing? Sean from The Good Dog, his first official TGD, that's a hard one to say, TGD tip with his Invisaligns. Don't they look pretty? I'm doing pretty good. Got the pronunciation, enunciation, about 80%, 85. Couple words, couple words, couple letters, and if I think about it too much, definitely trouble. Anyways, bear with me. I'm sure over time you won't even notice it. It'll just become part of the landscape. You won't even notice the lisping. You'll just be like, that's Sean, he lisps. Anyways, so you can hear the trash cans in the distance. No chainsaws today, no lawnmowers, no blowers, but we got a pinch hitter, the trash cans, or the trash trucks. Anyways, so I want to talk about all the talk about the fallout of like all the scientific studies that continuously cycled over and over and over again. Somebody sent me a link that was in response to a TV show with a dog trainer who I'm not familiar with. I don't know if he's good, bad, or ugly. A dog trainer in the UK, and like getting tons of heat from the Pure Positive Force-Free camp, and it's the same exact, like, verbatim scientific studies. You know, he's I can't remember all the silliness, but like, it's old school, it's not science-based, it's creating fallout, it's blah 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 blah. And it goes down the line, and then it's got a link to all these, you know, to the studies that correspond with it. And if you really take a look at the studies, like, there's a lot of silliness involved, because the people that are behind the studies, the people that have pulled from the studies, it's so like not just a neutral, like, it's not like the dog world went out in a completely neutral fashion and decided we need to get to the bottom of what's best for dogs. That's not what happened. So all of these people with agendas have gone out, put money in certain areas, gotten certain studies done, or those people in those organizations have looked for studies and picked and cherry-picked and pulled certain parts out of it, things that sounded good, things that supported their argument, and anything that might not be convenient, they let those go. So I don't want to get into the studies per se. I want to get into like the specifics of all the studies. I want to take a general approach, because I think all the other stuff, you just go down the rabbit hole of monkey business, and you'll really, like, your head will fly off trying to like go toe to toe with each study and each thing. You just literally, I'm like, there's not enough time in the day, and there's not enough time in human beings' lives, especially people that aren't just like focused on like dog work constantly. So what I want to do is take a more general approach, which is hands-on personal experience, right? So what I hear over and over again is that using punishment is going to create all of these negative side effects, right? Using punishment, and let's be clear, punishment, if we're using behavioral terminology, it's not the thing that's been made out on like Dog Whisperer or things like that, where we make the distinction between like discipline being something positive and punishment being something that's like abusive and harsh. Now, punishment is technically just something that diminishes or removes a behavior, right? Causes it to happen less frequently or removes it altogether. So all the talk around punishment is that it has let's do it this way. It's all set up to be fear-based in order to scare owners and trainers, but primarily owners, from engaging in utilizing trainers that would participate in any kind of a balanced approach that might also have aversives, corrections, punishment, things like that involved. So they want to scare the crap, the bejesus out of dog owners, so dog owners go, man, I don't want to ruin my dog, I don't want to ruin our relationship, I don't want to have a ticking time bomb, I don't want to have all this fallout, I don't want to be a bad dog owner, so I'll go here. I'll go and work with the people that are using scientific methods, that are up to date, that are futuristic, that are on the cutting edge of dog technology. And that's really the game plan. So knowing all that, knowing that that's the agenda is to push things in that direction, cause dog owners to be afraid, cause them to make decisions based out of fear that correspond with the agenda that the force-free, pure positive folks are pushing. Now, all that's well and good. Here's what I see. Yours truly, Sean O'Shea with The Good Dog. You've heard me talk for a long time, several years, worked with a lot of dogs. Typically, the higher echelons of problematic dogs, the smaller percentage of the really challenging guys, right? Just about every dog that shows up here has got human aggression, dog aggression, resource guarding, serious fear stuff, all the big stuff. We've been seeing it for years, right? We've been dealing with it. We're, you know, somewhere around like 1,000 dogs that we've worked with. I haven't done the exact math, but you know, we're talking about 9 years now, something like that, with a lot of dogs coming through. And here's the thing. All these dogs that have come through have used prong collars, have used e-collars, and have had corrections, aversives, punishment applied to unwanted behavior. We've attached, think about it just like in real simple terms, we've attached negative consequences to unwanted behavior in order to make those, just like everybody else, like the cops do for you, and like, you know, how humans work, same thing. We've attached negative consequences to unwanted behavior to diminish or reduce or remove those behaviors that are unwanted. The biting. Biting of other dogs, the biting of human beings, the resource guarding, the fear stuff, all of them we've used in different, very nuanced, cleverly experience-laden fashion, have utilized aversives and pressure and things like that, along with rewards, a balanced approach of I like this, I don't like this, and then being smart enough to know how to use pressure being, if I'm talking about like e-collar pressure or prong pressure, whatever we're doing, in a fashion that overrides wherever the dog is stuck at. Wherever the dog, whatever the dog, I think I had a dog here, whatever the dog is accustomed to using, has become their coping mechanism, has become their pattern, whatever it is, we're going to override that. We're going to diminish that, because that stuff's going to get that dog killed or rehomed or left in the backyard, whatever it's going to be. So all these dogs are using these tools that are destined to ruin your dog, destined to cause fallout, destined to like make you part of, you know, part of a study, you know, somewhere down the line. And they've also had aversives, punishment, corrections, right? Not abuse, but aversives, punishment, corrections applied to unwanted behavior over and over and over again with all these different dogs, right? And what keeps happening? All these dogs keep going home and succeeding. Are there dogs that don't do as well as others? Of course. Are there dogs that are more challenged than others? Of course. Is there a teeny tiny percentage of dogs that are like, for us, like maybe beyond help? Yes. But 99% of the dogs that come through here shoot out of here doing like, right? They go home and the reactivity's gone. They walk nicely on leash. The growling at guests, it's not happening anymore. They're hanging out in place. They've become comfortable with people because the stuff that's nasty has been blocked. The going after dog stuff has been blocked or has been stopped. Owners have learned to advocate and not put their dogs into dangerous situations and things like that, along with that, in conjunction with all the training. So it's both training and lifestyle and all that good stuff. My point is, don't you think that after all these dogs coming through here, that we'd have a study of our own, right? A study based on experience, based on hands-on, based on doing, not reading, but based on doing. Don't you think that we'd be up against a situation where, wow, all these dogs are going home and struggling. All these dogs are going home and they're worse. All of these dogs are going home and they're ticking time bombs. They're exploding when least expected. They're looking good and then all of a sudden they're not good. They're undercover dangerous. That, you know, all the things that people have been warned about, all the stuff they've been warned about in these studies, it's not happening. So what I want to share instead of a study is what we've seen. What we've seen utilizing the exact same things that all of these folks are telling you are not going to work and are in fact going to work against you and are in fact going to ruin your dog and your relationship. No, we've seen the opposite. We've seen the dogs doing amazing. We've seen the dogs coming, slingshotting out of here. I'm like, pow, slingshot them out of here legitimately, but like pivoting out of here in a totally different space. Dogs that couldn't be off leash because they go after other dogs, now they're able to go on hikes and go, you know, camping and do things like that, and they're in a different space. They're better with people, they're better with other dogs, or, you know, whatever it might be. Dogs that have come in here attacking their owners and other dogs in the house over resources, not doing it anymore, being good dogs, right? Dogs that are, I mean, listen to this, folks. Dogs that were sending people to the hospital, right? This isn't like a 1 or 2 dog. It's like, this has happened over and over and over again with dogs that we've seen. Like, we don't get the cupcakes, typically. We always like, woohoo, a cupcake if we do get one. But typically, we get the really hardcore dogs. We get the dogs that have sent other dogs to the hospital or a lot of humans to the hospital. That's the reality of this. We're not talking about like, oh, a dog that might look bad, but really isn't bad. Like, you don't even see all the stuff. We don't even share all of it. Some of the stuff the owners have asked not to share and we don't share. Some of the stuff can't be shared with you guys. Some of it you'll never know about. Some of these cases, some of our hardest or most dangerous cases, you've never even seen. And that might sound like an easy way out. I'm just telling you the truth. We've had dogs come through here that have put people in the hospital that were highly dangerous when they came in, and you guys will never know about it. So that just, for me, like, cause honestly, like, I care about you guys, but like, I care more about what I've seen. And what I've seen are even these guys that you guys don't get to even see more evidence of. I've just seen more and more evidence. I've seen more and more reinforcement of teaching dogs what's not allowed, right? And what is allowed, and giving them a nice balanced perspective of that is how you make dogs better. If you are not willing to attach a significantly negative outcome or consequence to a behavior, and I don't mean just like withholding a treat or a timeout in a crate or something like that. That might work for something very mild, but if you're talking about serious stuff, you're not going to get anywhere with that approach. And I hate to like burst people's bubbles, and I know people are going to be like, but I've done, okay. You maybe have done something with your dog, or maybe a couple dogs, I don't know. All I know is that we've had an awful lot of the most serious dogs come through here. We've used the tools and we've used the approaches that are supposed to ruin them, make them worse, create ticking time bombs, you know, deadly beasts. All the stuff that all these studies pontificate about creating terrible, unsafe, unreliable dogs, that's all we've done for years. And they're all going home in an incredibly different space, in an incredibly enhanced space, an incredibly much more healthy space. And if these tools were doing what these studies were saying, and if these approaches were doing what these studies were saying, this wouldn't be happening. People wouldn't be sending dogs to us from across the country. People, like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to, like, you know, beat our chest or pump us up, because it's really not about us. There are plenty of balanced trainers out there doing fantastic work. It's really about the message. And the message being that what I've seen personally is regardless of all sorts of monkey business studies and rhetoric that gets passed around and cut and paste, and you'll see it always looking the same, what I've seen is hands-on, boots on the ground, working with these dogs that most of these people will probably never touch. Of course, they say they will, but most of them will never touch. And we touch them every single day. And they come out of here 1,000 times better than they came in. And they're doing 1,000 times better than when they showed up. And they're using the tools and the approaches that are supposed to ruin them. What gives, right? So something is fishy, right? Something stinks in the state of Denmark. So just something for you guys to think about, a little food for thought. Not trying to create a drama train, but definitely something I'm passionate about, and I want to spread that message as the other movement really pushes hard at removing tools and trying to take away people's ability to train how they want to train and use the tools they want to use. It's become more and more of an important moment in time to really speak up and share my truth, and hopefully get others to share their truth, and hopefully give other people permission to share their truth that are maybe sitting back quiet or afraid they're gonna catch a lot of hell. I'm willing to catch the hell, and the reason is because I've seen it work. So I wouldn't be standing here, I wouldn't be feeling confident and good about all this stuff if I hadn't seen it work over and over and over again. The only reason I'm standing here talking to you guys and telling you this is because I want you to know what I've seen. I wish I could put you in my shoes. I wish I could have you be here to see these dogs, the way they come in and the way they go out. I wish, because if you could see it, all the studies in the world that are telling you that it doesn't work and it's the worst thing in the world wouldn't mean a damn thing. You'd watch it, you'd go, wow, that's a bad dog. Wow, 3 weeks later, 2 weeks later, 4 weeks later, 1 week later, whatever it is, I can't believe that's the same dog. And you'd watch owners smiling, crying, in a totally different space than when they drop the dog off. Fearful, stressed, anxious, worried, thinking they're gonna have to lose their dog. I wish I could put you in my shoes so you could see it, so you could make decisions based on based on real knowledge, based on real experiences, based on real dogs, I don't want to say it, real bad dogs, it sounds weird, but real bad dogs, not real bad dogs, but real bad dogs turning around. I wish you guys could see that, because then when you saw studies and scientific rhetoric flying around, you'd be like, you'd know better, because you could get all the studies in the world saying one thing, saying that the sun only comes up every 5 days. I'm sorry, we've got proof. We've got a log of proof, and all these scientists have weighed in. They said the sun only comes up every 5 days. And it's weird, a lot of people feel like it comes up more often than that, but it doesn't. It's every 5 days. And I want you to read through these studies that are, you'd say that's a bunch of BS. It would be a very easy one for you to dispute, because you would see the sun come up every day. And you would say, that's obviously crap. So what we do is we see the sun come up every day here in Dogland, and we see dogs change. And so that's why when we hear these studies, this rhetoric, this talk, this agenda, this ideology, this religion being pushed on everybody, it's so hard to take, because we just know a complete different reality. So anyways, Sean from The Good Dog. Hope you made it through with the lisping. These babies, challenging, but I'm working through them. I hope this has been helpful. Hope it's been valuable. Love to hear from you guys. As always, when it comes to these posts, any snarky, crappy, not pleasant, disrespectful, even a hint, a smidge, a tinge of disrespectful posturing or crappiness, you'll be gone. So don't waste your time, because they're my favorite ones to delete. Really long posts, like standing on the soapbox. I love to delete those. So if you're thinking about it, feel free, but just know it'll be gone. All right? Anyways, anybody else who has any questions, damn Invisaligns, feel free to hit me up in the comments, all right? Take care, guys.